during the COVID, we experienced a very different kind of a scenario. There was a demand for a lot of tech. That's how this venture studio came into existence.
Yeah.
Blockchain is a tech which I'm very passionate about.
Okay.
And now AI. There was a white space. So the white space that we found very obvious, and there was not enough players building Web3 Ventures, which is a convergence of all the technologies that would build new internet companies out of India, global internet companies out of India, but founders can be anywhere from the world.
Interesting. Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of On Tap podcast. Today we have Yuvaraj with us. He is the founder of Kreatorverse. It's an award-winning venture studio. Today we'll get to understand Yuvaraj's story and more about what exactly this Web3 Venture Studio is all about. So over to you, Yuvaraj. Why don't you say hi to our audience and then we get started?
Thanks, Soumya, for that introduction. Let me talk about more on why Venture Studio is a necessity, and we came up with Venture Studio. So I'm a corporate tech veteran turned entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So this is like a 10th year of me being in business, a first-time founder and a first-generation entrepreneur.
Yeah.
During the my initial entrepreneurial career, it was always about building tech products and building tech product ventures. But after the COVID, during the COVID, we experienced a very different kind of a scenario. There was a demand for a lot of tech, but the entrepreneurial talent here in Bangalore, when they were looking for transitioning from their previous career to a entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And they all know that they have to build products. Their linear service business is not going to definitely help them to get the support system from
Right.
the capital partners. So there was a white space. So the white space that we found very obvious, and there was not enough players building out a company that would support a first-time founder
Okay.
to really go through that transition and become a successful product venture, building a digital product venture. So we said that we have to solve this problem. And I tried myself and failed and succeeded in these attempts. So that's how this venture studio came into existence.
Yeah.
And Web3. Why Web3? When we talk about Web3, the new internet, that inflection point of internet becoming a decentralized internet,
Yes.
more democratized internet, and inclusive internet was like a very much a ask by the Generation Z kind of audience. Millennials were very comfortable with their own internet experience of just socializing with others and sharing content.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Generation Z and D-Gens, we call it in Web3, they were more expecting inclusivity into the whole space. Internet is a space where they everyday live, digital natives I'm talking about. So blockchain is a tech which I'm very passionate about.
Okay.
And now AI. So blockchain and AI convergence actually brings a lot of things out to offer the new generation internet users.
Yeah.
But there needs to be a lot of makers to do that. So to have makers community built up, we need a venture studio. So Web3 Venture Studio was a kind of a need for the hour, kind of a automatic requirement. So we consolidate all our last 20-25 years of experience to put rest of our decade into this business
Okay.
of building Web3 Ventures, which is a convergence of all the technologies that would build new internet companies out of India,
Okay.
global internet companies out of India, but founders can be anywhere from the world.
Interesting.
That's how this Kreatorverse Venture Studio is here.
So tell us more about what Kreatorverse exactly do.
Okay, so we are in Bangalore, Silicon Valley of India,
Yeah.
and every second person that we meet He's a software engineer.
Right.
Okay. So when we say that we are building software for Fortune 500 companies, that's what 10 years ago we were all proud about building for Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies
Exactly.
in the developed economies. But that was a pride because that was an opportunity created for those generation. When it comes to now, we are the third largest startup ecosystem.
Yeah.
So therefore, the expectation from Indian talent is different. So no more building software for the specs given by
Correct.
Other enterprises. It's all about innovation. It's all about solving problems, coming up with products that can have a multiplier effect of creating wealth for the rest of the society.
Yeah.
So innovation at scale is a necessary for this generation, and that cannot be done in a linear model. So I was a little bit of inspired by exponential organizations. There is a book about it, and I was studying books on building exponential organizations,
Okay.
how to build models that would scale faster and also create wealth and value for the larger community.
Yeah.
So when this talent is put in a particular model and their energies are like harnessed to solve unsolved problems in the internet space, these internet companies can like grow at a crazy speed, because once it catches up and it knows it has solved the problem 100%, the growth is like unstoppable. So that's a reason we gone into this Creatorverse, inviting founders to talk to us, or we reaching out. First, nobody was aware of what we are doing. So why studio? They were asking, what is this word? Suit studio nobody uses. So we felt that studio is like a craftsmanship.
Okay.
Like how we use this podcast where there are talent who on the sound, on the light, on visuals.
Correct.
So studio is, we feel like we are like crafts people. So we have to craft things here, because you have to be very passionate about what you are doing. So you are not just doing it for the sake of doing it. So studio is a word. And many people use designer studio, but we called it as a venture studio. For myself also, it was a discovery, because I want to express
Correct.
that we are going to craft here companies with the passionate founders who will build next generation of wealth for the society.
Got it.
That's how this Creator Venture Studio came in.
Interesting. This brings me to a question, a very interesting question, which is, how is this different from what accelerators or some of these venture pads, launch pads do?
So incubators, accelerators, launch pads, so they are all there. This is not disrupting any of them.
Okay.
So when I came and explored for support,
Yeah.
good education came from existing incubators.
Yeah.
So there were people who went to management schools,
Right.
and they have done their own consulting career or a business management, or C-suite people who obviously after a time want to retire.
Yeah.
We found them in incubators advising on case studies and business models. So education was there that we could really find out.
Right.
And there were international people who want to invest in India, who started micro VCs and VCs in India. They were looking for an opportunistic way.
Yeah.
Where is the person who can build that multiple for their money?
Yeah.
So they were ready to give money to them, but there was no time or bandwidth with them to really work with the founder as a third founder.
True.
Or third co-founder. So the incubators and the accelerators, their model by design doesn't allow maybe more immersed experience with the founder.
Okay.
So we are not like accelerating, or like we are not working with hundreds of founders as of now. We select with whom we have to work, and when we decide that this is a company we have to work, we give our full resources. Resources we mean time and energy to it, and see that the founder gets the support that
Okay.
he necessary through our partnerships and ecosystem that we have built, and also product. We coming from the tech background. Tech is our core area.
Correct.
So therefore, whatever tech could possibly solve for the early stage companies, we ensure that tech is solving it.
Okay.
Again, not just for the sake of tech has to do that, but if tech solving that problem will make the company to like propel, get velocity to reach the next orbit, then we do it.
Got it.
And tech is also considered as an expensive of in the early stage. Founder capital is more expensive, so founders capital is like very valuable. Using that limited capital founder brings in, and he also gets as a seed money or anything, every dollar makes a impact. So doing the tech right, getting the GTM right, getting
Yeah.
the model right, all have to be in the right place so that they can go out and say that we are better than the companies that is still figuring out.
Okay.
So a company built out of a venture studio, obviously through models like us, will don't require to trial and error, fail and again get it right. At least we have a kind of a known playbooks.
Okay.
We say that this definitely will not work for the ICP or idle customers that you are targeting. So we have done so many experiments like a research lab. So we know which one is suitable for such a business models or a solution.
Got it.
Accordingly, we reduce the risk of the companies, also increase the rate of success they could
Understood.
get out of this venture studio. We don't think the accelerators and incubators, they are all good with a lot of good intention. They come and turn support,
Yeah.
but they not do the way we do it through venture studio.
So, since a lot of founders might be interested in this and they might be listening to this, can you give us an example to explain how, if somebody is starting out, let's say in Web3 space, how can they leverage something that Creatorverse offers? Or maybe you can take a real life example of one of the companies that you've already worked with, just to make it real.
Okay. So in India, a lot of second generation, third generation young talent who are taking the responsibility of their family business.
Right.
As soon as they are given to run their family business, they are digital native and digital savvy. First
Yeah.
thing they want, how do I completely digitize this?
Correct.
Automating is not going to be the only success factor for them to take that business from wherever parents are handing out to them to next. They are business savvy. Anyway, it's in their genetics. So parents would have given them how to run the business, continue profit and revenue. But the context, market context has changed a lot. So they want to innovate using the digital technologies, not out of compulsion, but it is like a if everybody in their segment are trying to compete with technology, they have to do it.
Right.
So few business second generation, third generation entrepreneurs met me. They said that so we know our business
Yeah.
and we are interested in this problem domain, but we do not know how to solve that problem so that we can build a new business out of
Okay.
that space. But we are very passionate. We are ready to put in everything into that, invest there and build it. Then coming with the technology, what technology by design as an innovation, because technology keeps upgrading to solve various different problems. Whenever there is a, for example, blockchain. Blockchain being a decentralized, distributed storage and computation. That's the basics of it.
Yeah.
So why data should be distributed? Why computation should be available in a distributed for a more accessibility, availability. So it has its power when it comes that way. So the privacy factors and the moment of value in it. So when these entrepreneurs met, then we were able to come up with a model for the business idea that they had. They had a business idea in EdTech to
So
create
this was in an edtech space. This
EdTech
company.
space. This was a company in 2019, late 2019-20. I'm talking about the first one we did.
Okay.
Okay, so
this must not have been a family business, I'm assuming.
no, they were in the traditional business,
Okay.
but they were very passionate. But now I want to do it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you the personas of different founders.
Sure.
Then they started building a verifiable credential business
Okay.
for academic institutions.
Okay.
Today they have already issued more than 150,000 credentials
Okay.
to 600 plus education companies through the blockchain ledger
Oh, wow.
that they own as a product and asset.
Okay.
And they've raised 3 rounds of investments, and they are looking to scale beyond India.
Okay.
Those founders, they are very seasoned professionals who want to get into this space.
Okay.
And there was a person who was in the diamond business, trading business. He's business savvy. He understands cash flows. He understands how to do. He, in his career, did some analytics. So when he decided in his mid-career, want to do something in digital space, came to us, and I want to build a social media company.
Okay.
But it should be a Web3 social, not a social media company, because that's a very competitive, very difficult space. So they took our advice and the initial product building exercise so that they can really show the power of decentralized Web3 company, social company. And they are building still. Okay. It's a long way to go for them. That's another founder.
Okay.
The third founder, again a corporate working for a large multinational bank, but he was very passionate about live streaming and creating an impact through someone can earn by streaming their good deeds, good work that they are doing. So we created a Web3 social category startup, which is like people on demand. It's a on-demand live streaming. So someone can say that celebrate a birthday party for this person. Okay. So they can actually stream the birthday party or do something on sustainability and stream it, and they get rewarded by the people who have requested that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. And that is a startup.
Okay.
Another...
and all of them are like Web3 technology
all are
based.
Web3. So when we ask them, you're going to use internet power to scale it, because internet is a billion user. There is total 5 billion among the 7 billion population are already on the internet. And we want the netizens, the network state, to be the first customers. Then they have to do it new internet venture. Okay. So other two companies I'll talk about, they are in the decentralized finance. Okay. I being coming from a financial industry background, so how this decentralized finance is going to make a impact. So decentralized finance, real world asset tokenization, and moving the value without borders. So we working with founders on that space who are tokenizing fixed income. Okay. Who are tokenizing alt investment asset classes. Right. So these alt investment asset classes, fixed income asset classes are getting fractionalized and tokenized and fractionalized for a retail investors to participate, where financial inclusivity can be offered. Right. So that is also two startups we have as part of our venture portfolio. Interesting. Can you talk a little more about the decentralized finance aspect of your solutions, and especially the type of use cases that you've seen working so far? Okay. So whenever we talk about the concentration of value or a wealth, so financial literacy is one in the fintech domain. At least in India, a lot of fintech companies now created the literacy that is required about paper assets. When we say bonds, physical assets, beyond physical assets. Okay. So traditionally, we know that gold, real estate are the assets that would for the winter season, right? Yeah. So someone, anybody in India, when you talk about why you actually buy gold for your wedding.
Yeah.
So they say that for their
the
family,
rainy
if
day.
for any something goes wrong, they can use it
Correct.
to just as a insurance.
Right.
But when it comes to when I worked for banks, I worked for Citi, I worked for Royal Bank of Canada, I worked for Deutsche Bank. So these banks, when we see them and how the economic power that they bring to the developed economies, India is always called as a developing economy.
Correct.
The only main reason is the development of markets, development of financial industry is still in the going on. So when blockchain was made the moment of value possible, the store of value, unit of value measurement, and transfer of value and exchange of value. All these things can be completely digitized.
Okay.
And there is no necessity for things to be in physical form.
Absolutely.
Okay. So decentralized finance is such a, the use cases of that is when electronic money is already there. So your bank account, your bank statement, so everything is in the electronic form. There is no physically someone is handling it. So taking another leap of making it a digital money. So Bitcoin has proven that for the last 16 years, that's the best system, internet innovation that has occurred. So given that, now people can carry wallets in their phones and transfer money wherever. So decentralized finance is like nothing is stopping it from a adoption point of view. But the regulations or awareness of how to really adopt it in the right way may not be there.
Correct.
So a lot of Web2 fintech founders, they know the value of what decentralized finance can do for their own customers and for their also to increase the total pie.
Okay.
There is still unbanked population. There are still underbanked population. There are still people kept outside the or people who don't have access to all financial products. And if they are given this opportunity through decentralized finance platforms, wealth creation. So the abundance that we talk about, there is no nobody is left out in the system. Okay, they can also even, there is a lot of uncertainty now in terms of having a consistent income or revenue in the new generation because of the technology that is so rapidly changing, right? So whenever they make some value, capture some value, they can invest and multiply that through decentralized finance platforms.
Right.
All we required is more and trust building exercise that is required and good entrepreneurs doing that so that bad actors go away and good actors sustain and the system becomes a new norm of the internet.
Okay.
So these use cases are currently successful. What I see is I can give some data for the success of it. The stable coin, the USDC stable coin, I was recently in Singapore Token 2049.
Okay.
So the Jeremy, who is the chairman of USDC, was presenting this data to the audience. 16.2 trillion value of transactions was powered by only stable coin.
Oh, wow. $16.2 trillion.
Yeah. So what it actually says, though everybody are fond of dollars as a global reserve currency and denominator currency for global trade and commerce, now all the people are finding it more liquid and more easy to use that for their transactions than they using it in the other form, electronic form I'm talking about. It's not competition with among themselves. He was using this analogy. We are over the top, OTT of money.
Okay.
So we have built a stable coin that is better than the physical dollar, but it's the same value.
Yeah.
People are adopting it especially in emerging countries, developing economies, they want it as an inflation proof.
Okay.
Whatever dollar was giving them
Right.
as a hedging against their own highly inflationary currencies, they find this is an alternative.
Okay.
So the world is adopting it, not the developed economies or the developing and emerging economies are adopting stable coins. That's one use case I'm talking about. Any crypto we take it, B is a utility coin, stable coin, real world asset backed token, or tokens can be of various formats. They have something which normal existing tools that cannot offer. Otherwise, they cannot stand on its own. There is no
Yeah.
intrinsic value to it.
Absolutely.
The intrinsic value comes from what use case it solves, what
Correct.
problem it solves. I spoken about stablecoin. Similarly, when because I'm talking to a co-founder of Tap Invest and who is actually doing bonds and invoice discounting as well as peer-to-peer lending solutions. So there was a company with whom we work. They have $100 million lending portfolio.
Okay.
Okay, asset under management. They are regulated by. They are in Ireland.
Okay.
They actually lend money to Jordan, Czech Republic,
Okay.
various European Union. So they started receiving crypto deposits. Okay, because the lenders, peer-to-peer lenders, they were willing to give their crypto to actually get a fixed returns. So, but there was ambiguity on regulations.
Yeah.
But finally, we figured out. So now stablecoins have become approved by European Union.
Okay.
So we have built a business out of it.
Oh wow.
So they already have deposits. Now they are doing it. But the evolution that we are planning for the product or a platform is they can actually have various use cases now, like completely tokenizing the baskets
Okay.
for different segments: supply chain financing, revenue financing, asset financing.
Yes.
You were talking about asset leasing in your
Yeah.
platform, so asset financing. So all these can be completely put into one basket, divide that into multiple units,
Yeah.
and give it for investors to earn the rights to get the returns, interest.
Got it.
So those are the use cases already we have done, and it's getting adopted.
No, I
Yeah.
think this it's definitely very, very helpful, and especially in the current world where there's so much arbitrage, right, from one economy to the other. It's many people would definitely opt for choosing for such options where they can actually park their money, earn better returns from the economies where it is possible, and they would not want to be bound by the constraints of just a single territory or a single economy. And that's where some decentralized finance as a technology definitely comes in very, very handy. And on that note, I would actually want to pick your brains on if you were to draft policy for how these products should be penetrated or the technology should be handled. Let's say if we talk about Indian context, what would be your top 3 considerations?
So currently we are talking about like a G20, BRICS, Quad. So policymakers from different policymakers in the sense world leaders are coming together in this consortium form to solve certain problems, right? So Quad, Creator for Indo-Pacific or Indian Ocean territorial integrity and all those. Similarly, there is a lot going on to bring all the countries' financial infrastructure
Correct.
together. So India is done this digital public infrastructure. We are taking UPI to many more countries.
Yes.
Now the people who are architect of Aadhaar and architect of UPI, they are talking about financial internet.
Okay.
Okay. So when you see these macro trends and the narratives
Yeah.
being spoken about, definitely Generation Z customers who are, I would call from 13 years to 25 years, they are not going to go to bank to withdraw their money.
Yeah.
I have not gone in the last 10 years to withdraw money.
Yeah.
Okay, I did my in early careers ATM software.
Yeah.
So cart software and retail software. So, and they want to be the free bird. So they want a powerful visa so that they can travel to all the countries, right?
Correct.
Which literally means they do not want these constraints of borders.
Correct.
So this is like a ask, and it is a I also call it human rights, right?
Yeah.
Financial freedom is a human right. If you say food is a human right, this is also a right. You should be allowed to travel any part of the world. You should be allowed to travel take your value along with wherever you
Yeah.
want and wherever you want to spend and wherever you want to stay and earn. Everything that's the real freedom,
Yeah.
right?
The global citizen.
Global citizen and financial freedom for our global citizens. So there is no way policy makers can just stay and doing nothing about it. So they have to bring technologies and create policies so that instead of constraining people from being in one place and doing only what is restricted to them to do there, the policies that would come. So I'm part of these industry associations, and we always talk about educating the bureaucrats because this so they are always get stuck in one form or other
Yeah.
to maintain the status quo.
Correct.
So they have to maintain the status quo because change is not good for them. Change is not easy for them. But unless this change is made, we are not actually servicing the public global citizens.
Yeah.
So this has become to the level that a disservice to the global citizens now,
Exactly.
not legitimizing a power of technology innovation.
Right.
So if countries are saying that we don't require a legal framework, what technology has proven capable of doing for last 15 years, then that is definitely a disservice to the citizens.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what we are talking about is it's not about private public fight.
Yeah.
Public good is for everybody, right? Including the policy makers.
Yeah.
If we really have to do public good and we have to using technology, we know what positive impacts digital public infrastructure has done.
Yeah.
So by having a public private partnership with the technology innovators coming from the private world as well as technologists and innovators coming from the sectors, they can definitely come up with a framework, models and policies that would power our economy to serve global audience
Yeah.
and also achieve great excellence and value through this. Therefore, we are talking about why this has to be looked from a different lens and drop those old baggages to just protect the status quo.
Right.
It changes might be little difficult, but once it is taken, it's so good
Yeah.
for the next generation of entrepreneurs and next generation of creators, makers. So they are going to really benefit
Yeah.
out of these policies.
No, yeah, I think I absolutely agree, and it's needed. People can delay it, but they cannot deny it. So we'll hopefully have it soon one day. But it was great having you here and picking your brains on this very interesting new world that all of us envision and hope to see soon one day. Any last parting thoughts with our audience?
Okay. So in terms of our contribution as a organization, so we are on a daily basis creating assets. That's how we think. So we are creating organizational assets, knowledge assets, brand assets. So it's not like a job that a founder is doing. A
Yeah.
founder is coming out, putting his entire life at risk and dedicating his time to create an asset which is highly valuable for the society.
Yeah.
You can name it as a private equity, you can call it as a brand, you
Yeah.
can call it as intellectual property, but it is coming out of very passionate people that they want to leave behind an asset that can be remembered or that can be beneficial to a larger group of people.
Right.
So those assets is what Kreatorverse is building today. Kreatorverse is not just building software. Kreatorverse is building assets for the future.
Yeah, that's a very interesting way to put it.
Yeah, so that if this can be understood by the founder also knows they are doing a very important role, not building company for just investors or for just revenue and profitability. But revenue and profitability are units of measurement.
Yeah.
But their value creation is the best thing that they are here to do.
Correct.
Okay, that's my few words.
Great. Thanks a lot, Yuvraj. I believe it was, hopefully it was fun for you as well. And it was definitely very insightful for us. Thank you everyone who was listening to this, and we'll catch you in another episode. Till then, bye.